Hello and welcome to episode 14 of Mark's Market Mondays. I'm Mark. Today I had the opportunity to speak with John Cherica. John is an appraiser here in the Omaha Metro, and he's always been my go-to when I have specific appraisal questions. I hope you enjoyed the interview. Well, hey John, welcome. Thanks for agreeing to meet with me today. This is John Cherica. You've been an appraiser for how long now?
It's funny you asked that question. Somebody asked me the other day, and I really haven't thought about it, but yeah, 27 years.
27 years.
27. Yeah, I started out actually the first 3 years was the assessor's office. I kind of cut my teeth on a mass appraisal. I had to develop taxes. From that standpoint, I realized about 3 years that I was going to learn everything I learned at that point, and I wasn't going to learn anymore. And I got tired of people yelling at me from that standpoint.
Awesome. One reason I wanted to have you on today, we're obviously squarely in a seller's market, and we're seeing, from my end, we see so many bidding wars where homes go under contract for over list price. And so from your perspective, what's the biggest challenge there? How do you actually come up with what the true value is? If you have people bidding it up, do you ever just say, hey, they think it's worth this, they're willing to pay this, let's give it the value?
Yeah, it's different from the, I guess you'd call it bubble from 2008, where there was just a lot of over speculation and just bad practices all around that drove up prices, and then when everything crashed, you're in a mess. Here it's kind of also a little different situation. There's the lack of inventory. I guess you can, from what we do, picture it easily like you're sitting in a car. Everything inside the car are pending sales, what's going on in the market right now. You're looking out in your windshield, active listings, that's almost non-existent. We use market conditions forms that track how many listings are active at that point in time. And being a good healthy market, say a good 6 month supply, I don't think I've seen over a month supply of listings or even zero a lot of times for a year. So that part is piece of gone. Now, unfortunately, lenders, they want your value based on looking at that rearview mirror past historical data, which is all you have to kind of go off of. But in this market moving so fast, of course, some house that sold maybe $150,000 6 months ago, maybe it's worth $175 now. So you're looking a lot of current, you're trying to track, and with that technology that helps doing this, track some of those trends. Okay, what is the market doing? I don't want to say it's the same for the entire, maybe metro area. Certain neighborhoods increase faster than others. Some are a little more stable. Some maybe decrease a little bit. You have to be sure you're looking in the right neighborhood. But based on that, if you see that prices have increased, you're seeing double-digit percentage increases of homes. You have to kind of look at that too, because maybe you're doing an appraisal for a property now, but maybe the actual sale took place 3 months ago. A lot can have happened. So I'm trying to look at current data as well, listings if they're available, to kind of see what direction that's going in. And if you may very well arrive at a price, I think it's one of your next questions, that's the value that's higher than maybe what actually sold for. And based on that data, we're just taking all that data put together, and whatever that may be, that's what we're going to provide to the lender. But you want to make sure your data is correct. You have support for that. You can't just, hey, the market's great, everything's looking good, I'm going to put a percent, I'm going to put 10% on or whatever. And you need to have some support for that to show, to track where you're coming from.
Do you have a feel for what the percentage of homes that go under contract fall short as far as appraisal? I had heard from a lender friend that it was about 18%. Is that what you're seeing, John?
That, Mark, I guess I couldn't really, I don't know the percentage of that. I personally, and I've talked to other appraisers and realtors as well, probably in the last 6 months, on the personal, I've started to see more of my appraisals start kind of fall short a little bit. And I think maybe it's a lot due because you're looking at that historical data that's just not out there. And of course, you can't make anything up. And you have to have closed sales. You can't just use pendings or listings that aren't existing. As that market kind of catches up, I think it'll make it easier, because when this started, say 2 or 3 years ago, when things were really, really tight, there was no data support. So we were coming low, not maybe necessarily because it wasn't worth that, but you just didn't have any support for it. As things kind of started to catch up, we started to have sales that were closed that were more recent we could use. I think you're going to kind of get to that situation again. So it can be tough, and yeah, that's the hardest thing to answer your question. Finding good comparable data. That again, it may very be worth it. I realize you have 10, 14 offers on this property, but I still need supporting data to close on that, and any additional supporting data. 10, 15 years ago, you'd go in, you'd have 3 comps, 3 sales, you're done. And I remember who told me this a long time ago, that, and it kind of still rings true. I think it was an old underwriter said, if you give them 3 bad comps, you're an idiot, and if you give them 6 bad comps, you're a genius. And I don't think I've given anything less than 5 comps for any property I'm doing for the last 10 years. The more data you have, the better to support it. But again, sometimes that just falls short. You just don't have anything to do. And that really rings true more for those smaller towns, communities, and rural areas where there's so little data out there as well already, compounded with nothing for sale out there. It makes it even tougher to do that.
So last question, just to wrap it up. What do you wish that we realtors understood better about appraisers and the appraisal process?
That's not a question that comes up very often, but it's a good one. And being involved with the realtors, I talk to a lot of agents, and I think there should be a rapport between agents, and appraisers tend to be kind of, they do their own thing. They don't really get involved too much. I wasn't brought up that way as an appraiser. My mentor was involved in a lot of things that are involved in the process, realtors being one of them. 2 things I would say to finish off is, I like to know that our lender, our client is the lender. Our work we're doing is for the lender, not for the buyer, not for the seller, not for the broker, the agent. They say that we're not trying to break a deal or anything like that. We're not trying to ruin everybody's day, but it's based on data that we find in the market, and we're trying to do that. Our protection is for the lender. They're making a loan on this property. They want to know it's sold for $170,000. They want to know it's not worth $150 or something like that. And that's our job to provide that, because at the end of the day, if this falls short, 2 years from now, I know who they're going to call, and it's going to be me. And to dovetail on that, I'd like realtors to know that our information, a lot, especially the sales information and market and income approach, is based on data that we're getting from another alternate source, MLS, brokers, builders, whoever's in that process. We have to have questions. So the more accurate that data, the more complete that data is, the better we're able to do our jobs. One quick example is I did years ago. I came in $5,000 to $10,000 low on a property, and of course I get a phone call and say, "Hey, what's going on here? They want to close in 2 or 3 days or a week." So we did some research. Said, "I don't think your square footage is right." So I went out and remeasured the property. My number came up the same, and looked, we were about 500 square feet off from what they had listed on the MLS. And so we did some research. It turned out that the square footage came from the assessor's office. Now, having worked for the assessor's office, I realized that they don't always necessarily get into a property. But by doing that, it was inaccurate. By listing it at that square footage, the price was probably correct, but it wasn't that square footage. It was actually 500 square feet smaller. That's just kind of a simple that I want to point out, that it's for whatever reason it wasn't done, but we're basing our information on that data. And if it's not accurate, our information is not going to be accurate, and we're going to low or high or whatever. So those are kind of 2 main things I'd like to, and it could be for rental information as well.
So we agents need to do as good a job as possible to help you guys do your job, and make sure that the information's accurate, right, and do our due diligence as well.
Right, and for the most part, I'm not. The information is more than often not. It's correct. It's perfect. It's wonderful. And again, it's like I said, with the technology, we have more information at our fingertips now to do our job. It's wonderful, and I love it. But every once you get something like that, and it gets kind of frustrating, because you make, sometimes we have to track down a realtor to find, hey, you're gonna have any square footage? You don't have any photos. I don't know, has this been updated? There's no comments in it. So the more information that's there, it's time saving. And then sometimes if you can't get a hold of the agent or whoever that you're trying to get a hold of, you may not be able to use that information, that comp. It may be a perfect comp, but you have to throw it out because there's I can't make stuff up. Right. That kind of makes sense. So, but for the most part, everything's wonderful and perfect. I love the job you guys do, and I love working with you guys and being involved on your end. You're a lot bigger group than the appraiser side of things, but I learn a lot as well.
Appreciate what you do, John. Thank you for your time today. Have a great weekend. Go get some sleep.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I'll do that. But and you, Mark, or anybody else that watches or listens to this, if you ever have any questions from an appraisal question, whether it's something I did or something another appraiser, you just want some more information, some explanation, I'd be more than willing to give my number out to to anybody. And give me a call anytime. I'd be happy to chat with you.
Awesome, John. Thanks.
All right. Have a good weekend. Thanks, Mark. Take care.
I hope you enjoyed John's take on the current market. In order to provide the absolute best service to our clients, we at the Hinrichs Group strive to find industry leaders. Thanks again to John Cherica for sharing his time and his knowledge. Are you ready to make a move? Let's connect.